Hey, it's James, the Dungeon Master for the Every 10-Day campaign and podcast. And this is the first of a short series of videos to help you get playing Dungeons and Dragons quickly with a minimum of fuss and faffing around. One of the things that is so fun when you come to play Dungeons and Dragons is rolling up your character. That's what we used to call it when I was a kid, rolling up your character. And that's what we're going to do in this first video. So what you'll need, ideally, is a Dungeons and Dragons character sheet. All right, now don't worry if you don't have a hard copy of this, because we've got some for you. You can go to our website at every10day.com, and at the top of the page right here, you'll see there's a button where you can download the character sheets. So you just tap on it, it'll take you to the bottom of the page where you can get the D&D basic rules for free, absolutely free. Start reading it straight away, and you can download the character sheets, again, absolutely free. So you'll need a character sheet, ideally a pencil. Don't use a pen because you're going to be rubbing out and crossing out numbers as we go through this. And ideally, you'll want some dice, some six-sided dice. Now, when you're playing Dungeons & Dragons, it is famous for using a bunch of weird different types of dice. Things like this elaborate 20-sided dice. In this video, the only ones we're going to be using are the regular kind of standard six-sided dice, and you're going to need 4 of them. Now, if you don't have 4 six-sided dice, again, don't worry, because you know you can actually go on Google and you can just write in roll 4d6 as I've written it in there. Can you see that there? You can literally write in roll 4d6 into Google and it'll actually give you 4 six-sided dice, and you can just tap roll and it'll roll them for you. Okay, so you're good to go. Even if you don't have any dice. Rolling up your character is so much fun. It all starts with creating the characters that are going to populate your Dungeons and Dragons adventures. Now, it's very easy when you start getting into Dungeons and Dragons to fall into the trap of thinking you need to buy these big rule books, you know, these 300 plus page rule books, read them all cover to cover before you start playing. That's not the case at all. But they don't really teach you how to play Dungeons and Dragons. The only way you can figure out how to play Dungeons and Dragons is to get playing. So let's get playing. Now, the first stage in playing Dungeons and Dragons is to roll up your character, to create your character. And that's what we're going to do. So I've got my character sheet here, and what I want is just a blank area that I can write down some numbers. So I'm going to use this blank area here just to write down some numbers. So you might want to do this along with me. If you read the basic rules of Dungeons & Dragons, when it comes to character creation, the very first step that they recommend is to choose a race. That is, do you want to be human? Do you want to be an elf? Do you want to be a dwarf? Do you want to be a halfling? And then the next step is, what class do you want to be? Do you want them to be a wizard, a fighter? I think it's fun to start rolling dice. So that's what we're going to do. Now, the reason we're rolling dice is to find out how strong our characters are, how intelligent they will be, how dexterous, that is, how nimble and flexible and athletic they will be, how acrobatic they'll be, how wise they are, how well constituted they are, how sort of healthy and how much stamina they have, and how charismatic they are, how alluring a leader that is that they are. And so we want to figure out the numbers. The higher the numbers, the more that they have in any of those 6 attributes. We're going to roll, take away the lowest, and write the number down here. Here we go. So that's a 9. That's a 17. That's a 15. It's an 11. It's another 17. And then the final roll is a 10. Okay. So we've got our 6 numbers, 9, 17, 15, 11, 17, 10. Now, if you've been following along and you are a player, or if you're a dungeon master and you are kind of adjudicating this process with your players, Now that you've got your 6 numbers, we've now got to decide what race our character is going to be and what class they're going to be. So in the next video, we're going to go through that.